Morning.
Listen to this, Hilda. She felt as though an electric current ran through her. Her very skin tingled, alive and sensitive, as he stood there, close enough for her to breathe in the warm, musky maleness of his body. Her bones turned to liquid as his strong, powerful fingers began to gently unfasten the tiny buttons of her blouse.
Warm, musky maleness of his body. Sounds like he needs a good wash to me.
Has it ever happened to you, though, Hilda?
Certainly not. Anybody touching my tiny buttons would have got a smack across his chops.
Oh, come on. You must have had some magic moments that set you all a-quivering.
If I have, I keep them to myself. Don't go splashing them all over the Sunday newspapers, like everybody else seems to do these days.
You're only telling me.
It's the same thing. Annie Road, what's got into you today?
Well, I just felt in need of a strong dollop of romance. Naturally, I would have preferred the real thing. But unfortunately, you can't pick up husky fellas off the top of a counter for 95p.
It's yesterday, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it was today. Then again, we could both be wrong.
Oh, no, I mean what's brought this on. Going to weddings always affects me like that and all. Well, mind you, in this case, it was more of a jilting.
Don't let's have a post-mortem on that again, Flower. Topic got chewed to bits enough in here last night to last me a lifetime.
She'll just have to face it, you know. She's doomed never to be a bride.
Do you know something, Cobb?
What?
I think that's about the one and only thing me and Maeve have got in common.
Any chance of a cup of tea?
If some hot water were to be poured on some tea bags, I'd say they're a very good chance.
Oh, come on, Beck, give us a break. I'm not asking for a 3-course breakfast.
Just as well, because you'd not get that neither. Oh, all right. Go on, then. You look as though you either need a good strong brew or mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And of the two, I'd sooner put the kettle on.
Late night, was it?
It was, Hilda.
With young Sally, what's name, was it?
It was, Hilda.
Doesn't do to go burning the candle at both ends at your age, you know. Going out with a girl young enough to be his daughter can make big demands on a man.
I know, Hilda. Why else do you think I'd do it?
Hey, Lynch, do you know a bird called Jenny Lostock? Says she knows you.
No, off the top of my head, no. Why? What's she like?
Tallish, curly blonde hair. Not a bad looker. Only I've just given her a lift back from Bolton, you know. Give us a pack of best, please.
You were supposed to be delivering 24 parcels to the Carley brothers.
Well, I was. Well, I did. Only on my way back I saw this bird going for a bus and like she'd missed it and she got these big, heavy bags and... Well, it weren't out my way anyway, you know.
Right little good Samaritan, Alfred.
Oh, he is. I bet you'd not have pulled up in such a rush for a wrinkled-up old granny, though, would you? You know, I must say I've changed my mind about you lately.
All right. Tell me, why does I get the feeling I'm being set up?
I'm paying you a compliment. I mean, if an attractive girl like Sally Waterman thinks you're worth hanging about for, you must have some attraction that's hitherto escaped me.
And that's a compliment?
Unless you'd sooner have one of me insults.
With you, it's hard to tell the difference.
Yes, Terry?
Coming through, love.
He's got the dominoes all laid out.
That's true.
Much more.
Well, I might as well jack it all in now. What? Were you on Shandy and jumping Jack Flash on the wagon? That's my wages up the spout for starters, isn't it?
Ducky on the wagon? Give over, you must be joking. That'll be the day.
Well, there's one thing about it, he won't be driving it, will he?
What?
The wagon.
Well, there's nothing funny about it, Persicles. I mean, after all, it is his livelihood, you know.
He should have thought of that before he got behind wheels, shouldn't he? If he was over the limit, he was asking for all he got.
Do you reckon he will lose his licence?
No danger, and quite right, too. They're a menace this type.
Oh, come on, Percy. I mean, after all, it was only his first offence.
First time we've been caught, you mean?
Aye, heck, Percy. You're a barrel of laughs today, aren't you?
Well, it's something I feel very strongly about, isn't it? Because next time he might not be so lucky.
Lucky?
Yes, lucky. Lucky was picked up before he did any damage to anybody else.
Well, I must say, it all sounds very intriguing.
Be something tonight, I reckon.
Oh, come on, not be routine, will it? Not if it's been all these years since he's been in touch.
Well, I just hope it's nobody in our street.
I don't get you.
You know, got themselves into trouble and he's making inquiries.
You mean he might want you to grass?
Oh, I don't know about grass. No, I mean, all joking apart. I mean, policemen are always policemen before they're anything else. I mean, I'm a policeman's widow, you know. I do know they have to be dedicated.
What would you say if he were on the catch like?
It depends, doesn't it? I mean, oh, I couldn't shop a neighbour. Oh, and there's no way that I could spy on them. No.
Well, I mean, if he said it were police business, and he wouldn't explain over the phone, does sound like it could be a bit confidential.
Oh, no, he would have gone into detail, but you see, he was ringing from the station, and somebody called him.
Mind you, on the other hand, it could be something a bit more spicy.
Hey, how do you mean?
Well, is he married?
Of course he's married. He's grown-up kids. He's getting near to retiring age.
You never know, Betty. He might have harboured a secret desire for you.
Yeah. The once did say that I had rather nice eyes.
Now then, ladies, you're slipping. 1 minute past opening time. Queues all down the street and you're studying nattering. What is it this morning? My love life again.
Oh. Naturally, we never talk about hotel.
Good morning, gents. Come in. No, I'm just going to nip down the bank. You can cope without me, can't you?
Oh, if this pace keeps up, we'll need tranquilizers.
Just time to go scarving off just when we've got a rush on. All right, lads, go and sit down. I'll bring your drinks across.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's just struck me, Betty.
Well,
this copper that you've got calling, if he is on the sniff like, might not be a neighbour he's after.
If my dad does get banned, he'll have no use for his vehicle, really, will he?
No, not a lot.
Mind you, he could raffle it.
Phone Terry, your mum. Can you nip down to Magistrates Court, only your dad's caught for a ban and he daren't drive the taxi?
Tell her I want my bus fare.
He says he wants his bus fare. She says you'll get your bus fare and you want sugar on it.
You are a diplomat, Bet. What are you?
Don't speak to me like that, Vera.
No. Afternoon, Sergeant. Were you after me?
Why, what have you done?
No, I mean in my capacity as caretaker at community centre.
Oh, that is down for a raid, but not till next week.
Graham! Hello,
Betty, look. Hey, you don't look a day old.
Oh.
You've still got that twinkle there.
Oh, can see how you get your confessions.
I don't want to rush you, love, but I thought I could give you a lift. I mean, it must be as near as damn it to closing.
Well, we've still got the glasses
Don't
to
give
do.
him another thought. I'll manage. There's not half a dozen all told.
What about Billy?
Well, if Billy's the landlord, maybe I could have a word. Pull rank or something.
Oh, he's out as a matter of fact.
Get your coat on, tell with Billy.
Sure you can manage?
Will you stop fussing, Betty? You're keeping this big handsome sergeant waiting.
Hey, I might take you up on that, Hanson, one of these fine days.
Couldn't be Tuesday, could it? Because you see, that's my day off. It doesn't have to be a fine day. Could even be a wet day.
Have you no appetite?
I haven't, no. Shall we split it?
Well, by the look of it, you need a pneumatic drill. Been stood up, have you?
Yes, I have. How do you fancy running off to Blackpool?
Is this man bothering you, Mother?
No, he's just offering me a job as a dancing girl in Cairo, I think.
I see. He's back on the white slave touch again, is he? Percy, you have been warned.
You'll stay out for a giddle, you, won't you? Grey hairs mean nout.
So, it's the glorious Ned this time next week, is it?
Yep, that's the plan.
Well, you don't sound exactly over the moon. Do tell me if my nose is getting bigger.
Ken, isn't it? He's all wrapped up in this flipping recorder.
Oh, hey, man, my chip suffer.
Oh, well, you've hit the nail on the head there, haven't you? I mean, I know it's our living, but at the end of the day, it's the poor man's greaseproof.
Never mind. Be okay when you get there. With any luck, Fleet'll be in.
Throw Bet.
Send me a postcard from Corfu, and I promise I won't send you one from Rill.
Oh, look at that.
Rush over, is it?
Well, I suppose we could always get a last-minute charabanc party. Hey, that bank you went to this morning, you weren't sticking it up, were you?
I'm wondering if it's money that's worrying him, you know, what it's going to cost. Because something's putting him off it.
Well, it's an expensive do, isn't it?
You see, it's been me that's more or less forced him into it. Do you know, for 2 pins I'd cancel.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily get your money back if you did that, would you?
I don't know. Oh, I couldn't bring myself to tell Tracy anyway. She's been counting the minutes.
Listen, he'll enjoy himself when he gets there. We're all same us fellas, you know. I just wish I had somebody making me go away more often.
Go on, then. You've talked me into it. Where we're going to go?
You will be paying for those one day, will you? I mean, that's the 5th packet this week, you know.
This is my way of making you save up so you can take me somewhere exotic. They say Honolulu's nice out of season.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. You find somebody that does day trips and you're on.
You'll never make a sugar daddy, Alf, not even if you take lessons. Fetch me some Greek rock, that look.
Hey, I will if I can find any.
I mean, he really throws himself out and songs that job of his, Ken, doesn't he?
What, recorder, yeah?
Yeah, that's why I've been reluctant to go away. It's all the more reason why I should be made to go.
You know, I hardly slept a wink last night, worrying about this idea of me taking a lodger.
Hey, no, Betsy, I thought you were all for it yesterday.
Well, that's not today, is it? What do I want with the lodger? It's not as if I need the money. The idea of a stranger walking about my house. Oh, no.
So why didn't you think of this yesterday when Sergeant What's-His-Name came to see you?
I don't know. Because I'm daft, I think. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, Mrs. Ogden. Now then, what would you like?
Well, I like to help, but let me get them. You've treated me often enough.
Oh, now...
No, I insist. After all, we do live in an age of equality between the sexes.
Oh, well, not very much then.
Don't tell me you've turned feminist, Hilda.
Oh, you can laugh if you like, but I think it's high time women's voices were heard more than they have been.
What, round here? 70s, that?
Round anywhere you care to name. We've took a back seat long enough.
Well, I'll bet Jermaine Greer will be glad to hear that.
I bet he will, yeah?
Oh, well, cheerio, Mrs. Ogden. All the best.
So, is he still coming round then, this lodger you don't want?
No way of stopping him, is there?
Look, would it help if I came back with you, love? A bit of immoral support?
No, thanks. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks ever so much, but no, I got myself into this mess, so I'll just have to get myself out of it. No, I'll just have to say to him, I'm sorry I made a mistake. I mean, if he thinks I'm peculiar, well, maybe I am.
Well, you're a gloomy ossity this morning. What's up with you?
Oh, well, I don't want to burden you with my problems, Bet.
You already are, so I might as well know why.
All right, then. I invited Sally to spend a weekend with me in a cottage on the Yorkshire Dales. And she turned me down.
Oh, have you never been turned down before?
Of course I have. A couple of times. But I don't understand it. Everything's going so well. We've got a great scene, electricity, thrills and spills. And then all of a sudden, eyes like gravestones. And there's only one explanation I can think of.
And what's that?
Barlow.
Ken Barlow? Don't be so daft.
Oh, I know he's already had a go at her.
Oh, what would he want to do that for?
Well, middle-aged man, going to seed, working every day in the office with an attractive young girl who's having a passionate affair with me, who he sees as a rival. So he feels lousy, doesn't he? Jealous. So he lobs a spanner in the works and nips off on holiday to Corfu.
No. I reckon it's more a case of vivid imagination meets injured pride. I really do. Have you spoke to the lass herself?
Well, not since I had a go at her for backing off, no.
Well, I think you should. Ken Barlow's not your problem.
He'd better not be.
She's probably gone off you all by herself.
Thanks.
Betsy, love, you're like a breath of fresh air.
Ah, I did know. It makes all the difference having somebody to chat to over breakfast.
Betty's got a new lodger, Billy.
Oh, that's why she's late, is it?
He get very involved, though, you know. He was separated recently, you see.
Was he?
Yeah, and he was saying, I wish he'd had a letter from his kids, but just after he'd gone to work this morning, what do you think happened?
A letter come?
Yeah.
Big flipping deal. Right, come on, let's have the pair of you.
I just hope it's from his daughter. What's up with laughing, boy?
Been dumped by that Sally.
Good for her.
Bad for us, though.
Are we going to open this place this morning, or what?
See what you mean.
So where is he then, the mysterious Sergeant Cunliffe?
Staying in.
Staying in? Did that letter not do the trick, then? Did it not make him want to celebrate?
Yeah, it was from his daughter. He was very moved, though. I mean, you could tell, you know.
Betty, it's not right, you know. I mean, a chap like that with sensitive feelings should not be pining away on his own.
I know, but...
Especially when he knows that I'm interested in meeting him. He does know that I'm interested in meeting him, doesn't he?
Well, I did mention that people were asking after him, yes.
You weren't more specific than that?
Look, will you let me do things in my own time?
Of course I will. But you're depriving that chap, in my opinion, Betty. And me. First whiff of a decent bloke I've had in ages, and everybody's conspiring against me.
You can't get him, I can't get rid of him.
I thought it were all back on again, love.
Yeah, so does Billy.
What about you?
Oh, give us a brandy, will you?
Pot of tea just brewed if you fancy a cup.
Oh, yeah, Tom.
Hey, you were out early this morning, were you?
I wanted to nip into town. Here, Bet, you're a woman.
Thank you for noticing, it's all I ask.
take a shufty at that and tell me what you reckon.
Oh, Billy. You shouldn't have, but thank you.
It's not for you, you barn pot. It's for Sally. What do you reckon?
It's lovely. It's proper gold, isn't it?
Of course. Oh, 9 carat. Think she'll like it?
Of course she will. Who wouldn't? You must be keen.
Yes, I am, as a matter of fact. And that is strictly between me and you.
Well, she's far too young for you. You know that, don't you? She can't be more than, what, about 25?
I can manage quite easily, as it happens.
Well, I can see how a bloke of your age would be a bit chuffed to pull a young bird like her.
There's more to it than that, Bet.
You are serious, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I think we make a great team, in spite of the fact that Ken Barlow keeps trying to put her against me.
Ken? What should he want to do that for?
Why do you think? He's jealous. He fancies her himself.
Oh, give over. He never looks at anybody apart from Deirdre. They're rock solid, them two.
That's what you think.
And what makes you think I'm wrong?
If I were to tell you, it would turn your hair back to its proper colour.
Now, come on, Billy. You can't go dropping heavy hints like that about Ken.
Morning.
Morning, love.
All right, Betty. Tea in the pot?
Oh, darling. I had a police escort to work this morning. Tony walked down with me.
Is that your lodger, is
Yeah.
it?
Why didn't you fetch him in for a minute? It's time we got sight of this new lodger of yours, and I bet he's dying to meet me, isn't he?
Is he, heck?
Oh, don't give me that. You're saving me up for him, aren't you? Like a human Christmas present.
All right.
Here I am, crack of dawn, as requested by you. But I feel I must warn you, if you've got me here at this unearthly hour, to have your wicked way with me in an empty pub. Your luck's right out. I've had a jar of pickled onions for my breakfast.
Get off.
Come here.
Knock it off, will you? Oh, listen, I want you all to fort for a couple of hours. I've got to nip into town, sort out a bit of legal business for my mother. Now, I'm expecting the drayman to call, and with a bit of luck, the telephone engineer. That line's been crackling like hot chip pan.
You see, if Fred had still been here, you'd have had somebody permanent on the spot. Yeah, OK. What time will you be back?
If I come back.
Well, so were you, any road. You've looked more like a mouldy haggis than usual these last few days.
You certainly have a way with words, Bet.
Well, it's a gift. I was born with it. I can't claim no credit. Is it Sal? Is it on? Is it off or what? Or would you rather not talk about it?
Would it make any difference if I said no?
Not a lot. I can be very persistent.
Like toothache. Oh, it's all over. She don't want to know.
So it's off? Well, she seemed quite keen, and I know you were.
Yeah, we'd have been all right if left to ourselves. It was just a classic case of outside interference.
Well, who from? You both free agents? Was it her parents? Was it the age gap?
No, just somebody she's a little closer to than me, that's all.
Ken?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, Billy. Come on, not again. You've got to be kidding.
Why not? She works for him. They spend all day together in a tiny little room.
She's only his assistant, for heaven's sake.
Is she? You know, one thing I never took you for, Bet, was naive.
Phone man's been.
Amazing.
Well, don't let it crack your face, will you? He doesn't look like a man who's just had his crackers seen to, does he?
Oh, lay off him, lovey. He's not had it all that easy these past few months. I mean, what with his mother and his own problems, and then taking this place over. What you could do with love is a little holiday.
Thanks, Betty. I'll bear that in mind.
Hey, I saw Deirdre this morning. They came back last night. She had a marvellous holiday. She looked ever so well. She said it done Ken a world of good.
That's terrific. Best news I've heard all day.
Well, so, what's that now?
I think it's called twisting the knife, Flower, or putting salt in the wounds, or both. Excuse me. Well, you weren't exactly bowled over by your amazing good fortune when we met in Betty's the other day, were you? But being a very forgiving sort of girl, I've decided to give you a second chance. What are you having?
Half a bitter, please.
Bet. I can see you're the sort of man who never forgets the name, but in my case, you make an exception.
Come on, Bet, now behave yourself. Welcome to the Rovers, love. I'm glad you finally found us. Mind you, I mean, I did warn you about her, didn't I?
You did, but you didn't do her justice. Cheers.
Is he being nice or is he being horrible?
That's for something to you to work out, love. You're not the only one that can play games with folks.
Give us a tomato juice for...
Betty,
Right.
will you remind me to make an appointment to get me ears stringed? I don't seem to be hearing things too clearly from her.
Look, I had a very hard night. I'm feeling a bit liverish and I decided to knock off the hard stuff for a day or two, all right? Now, I have to fill in a form in triplicate to get a drink. I take my custom elsewhere. Oh, Billy! Just bumped into a friend of yours.
Oh, aye.
Or should I say ex-friend, a certain aspiring young lady journalist. I understand that you and her aren't exactly the hot item you used to be.
Been sticking your little nose in where it's not wanted again, Baldwin.
Didn't have to. She was going to lunch with a girlfriend of hers who let the info slip. I think she thought I was a friend of yours. Apart from that, she seemed quite a bright girl. Been giving you cards, have you? Still plenty more sardines in the old tin can, eh?
I know you like mixing it, Baldwin, but this time you might just have taken things a bit too far.
What you talking about, Bet? Mixing's your second favourite sport. Anyway, since when have you started worrying your blonde head about him?
It's not him I'm worried about. Morning, Scott. No, I think I prefer these when they've been trod on. But when I'm actually supping the wine, I try not to think about all them sweaty feet.
Bet, have you got a minute?
Well, I'm quarter of an hour late now, love. Another minute won't make no difference.
You're quite pally with Billy Walker, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't put it quite as strongly as that. I've made the occasional brew for him, but I don't put no sugar in it.
No, but if he talks to anybody, he talks to you.
He plays his cards pretty close to his chest, him.
Bet.
Yeah, all right. But only if he's in the mood.
Has he said anything about him and Sally? About why they broke up?
Look, kid, I think I know what you're getting at. And your Auntie Bet's advice is take no notice. You know what an evil gob he's got.
So he has said something then, about her and Ken.
It's just plain spite. He can't believe that a girl would actually give him his cards, because maybe she just didn't fancy it.
I'm just wondering who else he's told.
Now look, kid, everybody knows Ken round here, and everybody knows Billy. And if he wants to go broadcasting that his girlfriend's ditched him to have an affair with Ken, you don't honestly think that folk are going to believe him any more than I did, do you? Now, kid, you don't believe it, do you?
No, of course I don't.
Of course not. That's just what Count Dracula wants, isn't it? Upsetting everybody's apple cart. Now, you're not going to let him get away with that, are you? You've far too much sense. Now, I'll try not to diddle you, seeing as you're the fuzz. That was 60. 40 makes a pound. In fact, what are you doing tomorrow night?
Not that I know of.
How about coming out with me? I could take you for a drink. We could go to the pictures. In fact, the world's our oyster, really.
Sounds a nice idea, but...
Oh, come on. You're not going to make this any more difficult for me than it already is, are you? I mean, generally speaking, it shouldn't be me that's doing the asking.
No.
Good.
Yeah, all right.
You'd be delighted.
I would, yeah.
You're out, mate.
Right, and how are the workers then? I tell you what, we don't get a lot of them in here. I bet you're the only pair that actually get your hands mucky.
Say that again. Hey, does that mean we get free drinks?
Of course you do, after the revolution. In the meantime, I'm afraid you'll have to pay for them like everybody else. What you having? Orange juice, pint lager. Orange juice.
From the revolution, it's landlords like him that's going to be first up against the wall.
Yeah? You going to tell him that?
I'll let him work it out for himself.
You have to say yes. You're giving him no flipping choice.
Oh, come on, Betty.
Oh, well.
I don't know what's bugging you about me going out with him anyway. I'll look after him. I'll see he gets home in one piece.
Look, he had a bad time with his wife.
So, I'll restore his faith in the female sex.
I don't doubt it. I just don't want him thinking that I put you up to it. And that's why I asked him to give me a lift in here tonight.
He won't. So why don't you stop doing your mother hen performance and let us chicks get on with it, eh?
Well, lovey, I mean, you're a mate of mine, so I'm not going to say you're man-mad. But you've certainly not wasted any time with Tony.
Well, the bloke needs a tonic, Betty. You said so yourself. What am I if I'm not a tonic?
When I said the tonic, I meant a weekend fishing or something.
Do you think he might suggest it? I must get my rod and line out.
Oh, now go easy on him. I mean, he has had a rough time. You'll behave yourself.
Who's having a rough time?
My lodger.
Copper? Sergeant Cunliffe? Hey, you got a thing going with him, Bet?
Well, he has been chasing me. I said to myself, why not? I mean, I know I'll get behind with my knitting.
I don't know what sort of a time this cuddle's been having.
Well, he's sort of separated from his wife.
He's certainly going to have a rough time tonight.
Sally, Sally, red over. Hello, Betticoat.
Hey, what time do you call this? If I hadn't have come in sooner, there'd have been nothing ready.
I am so sorry I'm late, Betty. I got up in plenty of time, but then I had a bath. And what with the warm water and the jasmine bath salts, I got to thinking about last night and Tony, didn't I?
Did you?
Oh, we had a great time, Betty. Rubbing shoulders, laughing at one another's jokes. The picture was dead romantic and we went on to a club afterwards.
Funny. He said it was a war film and you went to a chip shop.
Who do you believe, me or him?
Him.
He's a fella, Betty. They've got no soul, have they? I'm so sorry I'm late, Billy. I shall work like a dog to make up for it, as well as like a well-oiled machine.
I don't suppose there's any chance of PC Plod joining the flying squad, is there? I don't think I can stand Bet fluttering about like a Red Admiral.
Well, I mean, you always were a bit bitter about that kind of thing, weren't you?
Very unkind, Betty.
Very true.
There you are, gentlemen. What's it like having a couple of handmaidens looking after you?
We'll tell you better when you've been doing it for a month. Hey, Tony.
At least.
Told you to go to theirs, didn't I? Well?
What?
What do you think about the soup?
What do you think? Needs more salt.
Nice taste of mushrooms, though.
Yeah.
It's pea soup.
Never.
They're pulling your leg, Betty.
Ooh, they better be.
You going on duty, Tony?
I'm on afternoons.
Will you be in later?
No, I don't.
Do you know, I wouldn't have your job for a big clock. Nearly all your hours are antisocial, aren't they? A bit like yours, Bet.
Yes. But you do appreciate it when you do get time off, don't you, Tony?
Yeah.